we've got a kind of a special cool camera from the 1960s. It is a Kodak Flashmite 20. Kodak kind of made a bunch of these cameras that were very popular with the Starmite series, and this is a Flashmite. Instead of taking 127 film, this camera actually takes 620. This makes it so much more versatile to use because 620 film is basically just 120 film spooled on a different spool. That's very funny. The camera itself is a plastic body. It's not a Bakelite box like its other predecessors, or sorry, what's another word? It's past counterparts. How about that? That's a good one. The focusing on this camera is a Kodak Cadet lens. It has 3 basic settings: scenes, close-ups, and groups. And this camera actually is really good with how sharp it is. So I'm here at Ann Arbors Olsen Park. Well, I'm going to test out this camera. What I've got is some Kodak Tri-X 400 120, and it was re-spooled to a 620 spool so I can shoot it in this camera. So, well, I'm gonna give that a go. Loading the Kodak Brownie Flashmite 20 is actually really simple. You have a little latch on the bottom that pops up and down, and then you switch this little switch over to load. That allows you to turn this freely, the little winding knob, and we're gonna slide out the bottom. It just slides out. We've got the re-rolled 400 Tri-X film that will just clip in, and you should hear it click once it's in. Well, not really a click, but it's in. And then what you want to do is there is a little thing right here that says film this side. So you want the film to be facing this opening here. I'm going to wrap the film around kind of like a Maima. And like every other roll film camera, you're going to stick the little tab inside the take-up spool and then wind it up a little bit till I see the arrows. I kind of like to make sure the arrows are not too far forward because there's no marking indicating where to start with the arrow. So at this point, I'm going to just put that back in there. Lock it back to closed, and then they give you this little red window on the back here, which doesn't want to stay open, but we're going to keep it open. We're going to wind it past the little arrows, which you should see a little notch of. And you want to be careful when you wind to number 1, because number 1 can be easily missed on Kodak film. You see the Kodak lettering, and then number 1. At this point, switch it from load on the bottom to exposure 1 to 12, and we're ready to shoot. So let's go do it. Also has the ability to take AG1 flash bulbs, and they just pop in right inside the little built-in flash holder. Instead of having an external flash like the Kodak Brownie Hawkeye or other Starmite cameras, this one just takes these peanut flash bulbs that look like this, and they kind of just go in. They pop in right here like that, and then you take the picture, it burns. There's a little lever on the top that pops it right back out. And you put in another one. So I don't think I need flash bulbs today. Like how the highway's right there? Yeah, that's kind of comfortable for Ann Arbor to put the park right under the highway. Mount Olsen Park, Ann Arbor. I'm going to go up here just a little bit and try and catch a picture of the bad day to wear Sperry's. That was the last frame, so that's it. I'm gonna keep winding it. I'm gonna put it back on load and keep winding it. Oh, I can't. Gotta cover up the lens so I can take the picture. Till it becomes almost free-like. There's no more tension. At that point, you look in the back window, see if there's any numbers or backing. Like earlier in the video, this didn't want to stay. Now it wants to stay, so that's kind of weird. At this point, we're gonna open up the back and it's ready to be processed. So I'm gonna go take this back home to my lab at home and I'm gonna process this and hopefully we get some images out of this film. So, yeah. I can't give you a full honest review until after I've seen the images, but after I've developed the film, I'm gonna come back with a briefing. This is my field test of the camera before I actually go to my final conclusion about it. Yeah, so going back inside and I'm going to
get that damn camera off my car. Hey, what you doing?
Well, I'm kind of videotaping right now. I'm kind of doing a retro camera. I'm kind of reviewing this old camera.
I had one of those when I was a kid.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm kind of doing a skit on YouTube right now. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the worst tanks I've ever used. It's messy. I can only agitate it from a stick. And everything just keeps leaking out. So it's the Ansco developing tank. So that's pretty much it. Don't ever get these Ansco tanks. Look at this. Look at this on the negs. What the hell? Look, 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 look. Oh, bull crap. Bull crap. And then it just fades away. What? On what world? There we go. What the heck? You saw the photos while the video was playing. So here's my quick briefing. The camera was not at fault for the streaks along the bottom. That was because of the Ansco Ansco gaff tank. That thing is trash. If you ever see a gaff tank or an Ansco tank, don't get it. It's just, don't get it. That is trash. That caused unequal agitation and unequal chemical spread along the film as I was trying to develop it. So it was trash. I won't say that again. The photos did come out really nice for what they were, and the camera seemed to perform pretty good for being a 60s camera with an all plastic body. If I had to use this camera every day, I wouldn't. The photos did come out pretty sharp for what they were, and I did enjoy using it. It is a plastic body, all plastic body camera. It's very simple, has a very simple, and I quote, like I highlight that greatly, simple focusing mechanism that allows you to go from groups, scenes, and focus, or close-ups. And there's really not much to make error with, except if you're within 6 to 10 feet. I would say just go to your subject, set the camera down, go to your subject, walk 10 feet away, and you're pretty good on how sharp the photo's going to be. Otherwise, I mean, it's a 60s plastic camera. There's not really much that can go wrong.
On top of that, I did notice as I was winding in the video, and if you see it, if you watched this far, then you would have probably passed it. There is a part where in the developing process, I noticed that there were 2 frames that did not get shot. And that was because as you're winding the camera, that little arm that grabs onto the film to stop it, or grabs on and stops, it did not stop for 2 frames. That left me with 2 frames completely wasted. Instead of wasting picture number 1, I wasted 2 other frames. And that made me kind of upset. Otherwise, it's not a bad camera. It really isn't. But I hope you enjoy watching this camera review, or this camera look at. I covered the main basics of the camera, and I tried to show you. The lens is pretty nice, and I hope you enjoy it. So, if you have a camera like this, maybe not the Starmite, but this one here, like the Flashmite 20, then you're able to use 620 film, and it's a fun camera to shoot. So, until the next camera, enjoy shooting!